New season, new league, some new board members, same old problems behind the scenes. Luton Town, what the hell are you playing at? I wasn't confident, but I was quietly hopeful that 2 relegations, some absolutely horrendous communication with fans, issues with manager, with the kit, with issues with even our training schedule and pre-season would have led the club to have asked themselves some pretty tough questions. But we're not even started the season yet. We're a few days away from Wimbledon at home, and already some of the same issues are creeping out. We all know the issues surrounding Alfie Doughty. We all know that he was left out last minute after being included originally in the squad against Spurs, with the club not saying that it was down to injury. Now, feel free, anybody in the comments, to correct me, but every time we've had a player pull out of a matchday squad, pre-season or otherwise, due to injury, it's always specifically said, and usually the club will then follow that up with a tweet about the injury itself and what it is. That didn't happen. After the match, Matt Bloomfield comes out with a very uncomfortable couple of minutes about him picking up a knock, but also doing what's best for the team, etc., etc., etc. Matt Bloomfield, don't play poker. You're a terrible liar. But also, who's putting him in that position? Because clearly he wants to tell the truth. He clearly wants to say what the reason is, and hopefully has enough respect for the fans to do so. He has been told to not say the real reason why Alfie Doughty wasn't included. And it's not just Matt Bloomfield that wasn't told. Tweet out today from Luton News, who are not owned by Luton Town Football Club, that says the following: just like to clarify Saturday's story regarding Alfie Doughty. The wing-back was left out against Tottenham Hotspur due to an injury and not transfer speculation as originally reported. Apologies for any confusion that might have caused. Well, there's certainly some confusion now. Now, Luton News is a regular, as I'm sure you will all know, that Mike attends all games. He is there for pre-match conferences, he does post-match interviews, and he does a running commentary on Twitter, which I personally, if I'm not at the game, always find very useful. He is somebody who has been in and amongst the club for a fairly long time. Now, I have never seen him have to remove or redact an article. As I said previously, his newspaper, Luton News, is not owned by the club. So it's clearly a decision that's been made by them. Okay. And it's not the first time that's happened. As has been mentioned by himself, Luton Town Supporters Trust, Kev Harper, has also been told by the club, or told off by the club, if you like, for being too negative. I wonder what the club would make of some of our podcasts from last season, but there you go. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's not just a sign that the club's unhappy with an article. It's also a sign that the club is using tactics to lever supposedly independent media outlets to not report the truth. Now, that might seem a little bit over the top, but that's exactly what's going on. The club are essentially censoring media outlets.
Fake news. It's fake, phony, fake.
That in itself is a very, very worrying thing. Put that together with a lack of communication around the kit that was supposedly out this week, with Gary or David Wilkinson putting out a statement about the club being more transparent this season, and that clearly not happening. Things don't seem to be getting any better, and that's putting it mildly. Look, we clearly all knew as a fan base that Alfie Doughty was likely to leave. We all knew that he's too good for League One on his day. He's also was pretty poor last season when he was fit, which wasn't often. And we all knew that he'd signed a long-term deal last season, and that if we can get a decent fee for him, we can get his wages off the book, and we can get a good replacement in for him, then that's absolutely fine. It's been a debacle on how it's been done and how it's been handled, as per usual, an absolute PR disaster, and all in the name of the board, maybe just Gary, trying to control the narrative. It's this point as well that I'd like to reiterate the importance of podcasts, not just ours, but fan forums, podcasts that can't be censored in the same way. Okay, independent podcasts and fan groups are hugely important because we don't have ties or connections to the club, and we can speak our mind, and we do regularly. Okay, so what's the upshot? What's the long-term upshot of this? It doesn't just start and end with Alfie Doughty. It means that we are unlikely to see a massive overhaul of the way that things are communicated. Personally, I would have liked to have seen an open inquiry into all of the issues last season. The fact that we got relegated is still, regardless of our optimism for this season, is still an absolute disgrace. And there needs to be more said than, we probably should have sacked Rob earlier. That's not good enough. There needs to be an open inquiry that includes people who are not tied to the club, whoever they are, including the Supporters Trust as well. There also needs to be regular communication on if players go or come, then that communication should be free and available for people like Matt Bloomfield to share with fans as well. Now, of course, I don't expect him to say, we're putting a bid in for XYZ player, etc. But it was obvious that Alfie Doughty wasn't suffering from an injury, and we would have all been fine with the fact that he was likely to be off. Questions probably certainly needed to be asked of why he was included in the squad in the first place as well. The club needs to stop treating us like idiots. As a fan base, we have seen the club through multiple divisions, some pretty terrible owners as well. And I'm not suggesting for a second that all the good work that 2020 have done in the past for us can be undone. But they have to be very, very careful not to take this totalitarian approach to ownership to the nth degree, because that is the same model of communication that people like Gurney use. And he is the person, of course, that Sweet and Co are responsible for removing from our club. And thank goodness they did. But this is the way he would have dealt with it too. The club also talked about the fact that we would start building Power Court, and other than drone footage from fans and other podcasts and content creators, which is great. Where is it? Where's the update? Let's have it. I mentioned the kits. This is probably the last time a kit has been released in the summer before our first fixture. All jokes aside, I remember us playing, I think it was Forest Green, the season we got promoted from League Two, that last game of the season, in the new kit we were going to play the next season. How far away does that feel now? And look, we can't keep blaming kit manufacturers. Reflo announced their horror show of a kit, Forest Green, well after ours, and yet it's already on sale. Good luck selling them, by the way. Umbro, have kit suppliers to huge amounts of the EFL and the Premier League, and those kits are all out and available too. So what's going on? We changed our commercial director, same problems. Look, I'm optimistic in lots of ways about the stuff that's going to go on the pitch this season, definitely. But it won't last if we don't change the fundamental way that the club runs and communicates with its fans. Please stop treating us like idiots and start being a little bit more transparent. So, there we go. Rant over. Like and subscribe. We will keep communicating with you. And we will do so through our regular phone-ins on a Sunday. Phil and Wedge are going to do some League One stuff. Ollie and I are going to keep doing some Championship and some League One stuff. And of course, talking about the games, including the one on Friday night as well. So please have a look at the content and let me know your thoughts in the comments below as well on how the club have handled this situation too. So I've been Mark Ryman. Come on, you Atters.